U.S. growth obviously in question, and there's fear among Republicans that Donald Trump's latest dust-up will divert Republicans from the economic message that he should be pounding. Former Republican presidential candidate Ben Carson on it. Donald Trump needs to get back on message. Ben Carson, you're very close to Donald Trump, and you're what everyone would call a straight shooter. So give it to us straight. Should Donald Trump get back on message?
Well, bear in mind that the Democrats only have one way that they can win, and that is to keep Donald Trump off message, to keep him talking about things that really don't matter and don't have a big impact on our country, and to make this into a personality battle. That one they figure they may possibly be able to win. There's no way they can win on the economy. When we have $20 trillion, almost a $20 trillion debt, just huge fiscal gap. We have all these things going on with ISIS and terrorist groups. We have educational woes. I mean, the number of problems for which Donald Trump has some very good solutions, because we've discussed these things, but he never seems to quite get to those because he gets caught up with these other things. It's entrapment. I think he's coming to understand that, and I'm very hopeful that you're going to see him pivoting when they try to trap him into talking about these silly things, coming back to the real issues again.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of this happens when he's on a one-on-one interview with more of these progressive media types, and they just sort of kind of bait him in there. And I think it's that New Yorker. I got to tell you, I'm like that too. It's sort of a New York and knee-jerk thing. We fight first and ask questions later, you know, if we feel like you've disrespected us. But it is a trap, and they later.
But believe me, I understand it.
Yeah.
I understand it because, you know, as a teenager, I was like that. And that's how I got in so much trouble. And I was going after people with things. Everybody knows about the knifing incident, which was 100% true. But I eventually learned that to react, to lash out, was actually not a sign of strength. It was a sign of weakness. To be able to pass over the incident and move on, that's the sign of real strength.
Well, Dr. Carson, I know you must be frustrated. Certainly we're hearing of reports of serious frustration within the party, particularly in the last 24 hours. Donald Trump so far withholding his endorsement for Paul Ryan, John McCain, and of course some of the things he said about Kelly Ayotte, who I understand has not been on the Trump train, but you know, he's been kind of tough with all of them.
Well, you know, he does recognize the necessity for party unity. You know, if the party comes together, particularly some of the people who sat on their hands last time, the evangelicals, there is nothing, I mean absolutely nothing, that the Democrats can do, that the progressives can do. But if they can keep us divided and at each other's throats, then they have a chance, and that's what they're trying to do.
Right. The poll out a couple of days ago showed conservative support for Donald Trump at 64%, significantly below what we saw from Mitt Romney, John McCain. So he's bringing in all these blue-collar Reagan Democrats. He's got the evangelicals, and he's got a lot of people who weren't even interested in voting before. He's built this amazing new tent, but that core tent may not be there for him. How does he mend these things?
Well, I think that the main way that he mends them, again, don't take the bait, and to get back to the real issues, the things that Americans are concerned about. Because quite frankly, the things that threaten us as a nation, they're not Republican or Democrat issues. They are American issues. And they're the things that keep people awake at nighttime. If he can begin to talk about those in a very powerful and consistent way and just say, look, I'm tempted to go there when they ask him these questions. You know, every fiber in my body wants me to go there and attack and give you something to talk about. But you know what? Let's talk about what's important. Let's talk about what America needs to get back on the right track. And if he tacks that way, they will really get desperate.
All right. Amen, brother. That's all I can say is amen. Hey, Dr. Carson, thank you very much. Appreciate it.